I'm in trouble again.
Yeah.
Theme 3 rendition by the lovely and talented Roger Pleasant.
What do you use, sequencer?
So I make all this?
Yeah.
It's just Logic.
Logic.
Everything
I'm
in
a
Logic Pro.
Ableton guy. But I did like Logic when it was multi-source before.
Get wild with it. You stand by this song, Roger?
I stand by this.
We're going to fade it out now.
Gotta give credit to Marcus for the ahs in the background there.
You don't got to get
He
nothing.
did really good for that.
I can do the yeah.
The yeah.
Welcome to Big Words I Know by Heart, a program of rants, raves, faves, pet peeves, personal vendettas, celebrity interviews, and anything else we can fill the half hour with. My guest today spent 17 years as a musician and switched gears to stand-up comedy. That's not him. After a spinal injury, he's the host of Doing Nothing is Art, a one-man comedy podcast, and is developing a new podcast with Bruce Wilson entitled Small Time Propaganda. In the past 3 years, he's headlined at Nietzsche's, The Droll Show, and most recently at the legendary Trough for This Is a Comedy Show. It's my great pleasure to welcome Jesse Winterhalter.
Hello, I am the anything else that you mentioned in the beginning. I would be filed under anything else.
And joining us in the co-host hot seat is videographer and Tinder ninja Roger Ring-a-Ding Pleasant.
And don't worry, my feelings are not at all hurt that there's a girl there usually. I won't take that personally.
Not usually. There's no usual. There's no usual. We've tried
You're
having
cool. I
girls.
like him. He's all right. He makes beats. We all right.
We'll talk shit about him afterwards.
You don't like my fluffy beard over here?
I kind of do, actually. It's kind of nice.
Everybody has varying degrees of facial hair here today. This is picking
I
up
have
on
no
something
chin.
obvious.
I have to grow one, so.
The beard's nice for hiding the double chin, don't you think?
Yeah, I hope so. It's the black shirt of the face.
Shall we get started?
Do it.
We'll start off soft and slow.
He knows what he's doing, this guy.
Maybe.
He knows how to treat a lady.
As the first white male comic to be on the show, how would you like to apologize for involuntarily perpetuating a patriarchal white privilege rape culture?
Next.
You're not going to run with that?
I would like to go home and sit on my throne made of gold and target practice on black people out the window, because I'm pretty sure you're just allowed to do that anymore. So why not?
And there's nothing wrong with any part of what
Nothing at all.
you just said.
And if my wife will be doing the dishes, and Fox News will be playing in the background, and I have won. So there you go.
We all know Fox News is the #1 source of unbiased news. Absolutely all the time.
Yeah, it's very entertaining.
Mr. Jesse, in terms of personal strengths, what do you have more of, rage or disgust? And please expound.
I think rage, because I think disgust is passive. You know,
Rage is an active
Yeah,
verb?
well, it's you're more likely to get involved in something over rage than disgust. I mean, I don't think either one are working out for us as a species, but if I had to pick one or the other, disgust is kind of lazy.
Disgust is a bit passive.
Yeah.
You're right there. How do you sympathize or empathize with the Buffalo Billion?
The Buffalo Billion, I don't even know what that is.
You're not tracking that?
No, not really. I mean, there's like these developers that took there was like a billion from the state, right? And
Yes.
then people are just putting money in their pocket. So that thing that happens every day, all the time, everywhere, and is really how business is done. But somehow, let's pretend this is because somebody stepped on the wrong person's toes, and it's like the Bernie Madoff thing. You know, he only went to jail because he fucked rich people over. When he was just
escaping.
burning people, when he was just burning little guys, it didn't matter. But then when people with real money started investing in him, he had to go. Or Enron too is the same thing. It was like that was business as usual till they got so bad that they tanked the whole thing, and it showed everybody, the bullshit of the system. So then they threw them to the wolves. This is business. It's just what they're doing all the time. It's just.
I wonder how Cuomo is going to come out of it scot-free.
It just depends on. It doesn't depend much on what we think. I don't think it depends on what other people
Roger, any stories ripped from the headlines that you'd like to weigh in on?
Not that I can think of.
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Jesse, do you enjoy inciting discomfort with your material, or is it the soft candy center of your comedy?
Well, I'm obviously a guy who enjoys a soft candy center, so I would say both. I love it. Very much, and I think that's the challenge. That's like there's so much excitement in playing that line where it's like they'll go right here, but they won't go here, and you're gonna be right there, and yeah, it's exciting to me. And
it's almost like edging. Correct.
I like a groan. Especially, if you can follow it up with a couple laughs, I like that groan. I like it.
You feed off of it?
Yes, very much.
Beautiful. When they were handing out open mics in Buffalo, did they come up short when they got to you? I don't even know what that question is.
Meaning like...
You don't host your own open mic.
I do not host a mic.
Was that a career decision?
Yeah, sure it was. They, every day someone comes to... offer me a mic and I have to chase them off my porch with a broom or some shit. No, I haven't been offered a mic. I'm kind of a default secondary host for some of the mics.
You're the backup,
but I don't know that that's my thing. There's administrative duties there as we've spoken, as a big weakness of mine. All that stuff. I like to just focus on the thing. But I think I do a decent job. But I'm a high energy, so I do it. I think I'm fine at it. But I don't know that I want to run a room really.
If there's one thing I learned researching life, it's that you are a nomad.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And you can't be tied down to any one city or open mic.
Yes, this is true. And I like Buffalo a lot, but I won't stay here forever.
Don't leave anytime soon.
I really like it here.
I've just grown to love you.
Yeah, thank you. Oh, man.
In that way.
Mm-hmm.
We are both, unfortunately, 40. In what surprising way has your body failed you?
Let's see. I know sexual is the fun answer, but unfortunately, while everything else crumbles around that, I'm still horny all the time. So I honestly wish, like sometimes that I would just go impotent so that I could think about stuff once in a while. You know what I mean? Can you imagine making like a rational decision?
Like James Spader in Sex, Lies, and Videotape Impotent, where you're leaning back and...
Yeah, however it would be that I would just not base any decision. You know what I mean? Like it would have where I would be completely rational.
You've been married 6 years. I'm amazed that you still have a sex drive.
Yeah, and it's good. We're still good. We're weird in that way. Is that it's still like that hasn't diminished a fucking bit.
Good
for
you.
What I mean? Yeah, I don't know.
Roger, you're no stranger to the art of love.
Yeah. Very much.
Look at that beard. You could tell.
Oh, yeah.
You're playing it tight today, aren't you? Thank you for that.
That was the best answer. He actually won that. Yeah, he did. That was beautiful.
There was a tete-a-tete there.
That was beautiful. There was a little underneath context there.
There was some tension.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
And it was...
Yeah, it gets a little ugly in here. I'll be right in my wheelhouse.
Where were you when you first heard about Brangelina's divorce, and can you identify with Brad Pitt's lifelong struggle with marijuana?
Yes, because I'm high now.
Who the fuck has a struggle with marijuana?
Yeah, no, that's so ridiculous. That's like when you need a press release because you really struggle with like Taiwanese transvestites. Mm-hmm. So it's a...
Who hasn't?
Yeah. I don't have that in my budget. You know what I mean? When I get like groceries and stuff for the kids and then like Taiwanese, they're way down here. And so he's got that kind of disposable transvestite income that we don't all have. I think they just, when you're someone who can fuck just about anyone and then that other person that's been with you for 15 years is busy and doesn't fuck you,
it's clearly what America should be obsessed with right now, correct?
Yeah, it's all I think about. Mm-hmm. I cried on the way here.
New Mexico, Virginia Beach, Philadelphia, exactly how many places have you lived in, and what or who are you running from? Was that who or whom?
I am dragged around the world by women. Is that surprising? Yeah.
You're
it's
a slave to love.
It's oh no, they get their hooks in you other ways. I have to chase children all over the place when relationships don't work out.
Which you enjoy. You enjoy being a dad, as I've learned from your podcast.
It's fantastic.
Your brilliant podcast, Doing Nothing is Art.
Yeah, I think it's terrible. Thank you.
It's brilliant. Stream of conscious, brilliant.
Yeah, I try to be honest. I just try to. That's what I can provide, and I liked a couple of those little those bits I did little skits. Mm-hmm. Those were kind of fun. But here in the other part, I can't even even when I'm just mastering it, it just makes me.
So you're saying you follow your dick to whatever zip code it takes you?
Absolutely. And I turn it into, in my head, I turn it into something super noble and amazing. But yeah, I'm chasing my dick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Knight in shining armor?
Yeah, I thought that when I was young. All that's done now. Life wears all that bullshit away. Yeah, I thought, wow, this lady is so lucky to have such a wonderful guy. I'm going to
be the one to rescue her.
Yeah, right? Exactly. And that's why you spend your whole life dating manic depressives, because they're so, dude, that high, that manic high is so exciting, and then they get miserable, and you're like, yeah, it's like you said, you get on your white horse and you're like, I'm just naturally great. And it's not even like I'm going to do this or that. It's just, by the sheer, being in the proximity to my awesomeness, you'll fix all your daddy issues and whatever.
And in the end, it's like Unforgiven. Just everyone.
Yeah, there's a body count for some horrible reason.
Please to complete the sentence. Capitalism is a brilliant concept that's masterfully executed because...
It's masterfully executed because we have approached it like a theology. So instead of it being what it is, an economic formula, we treat it like a religion. So therefore, we accept all these pontifications about the things that it does that it actually doesn't do. And so you have your Milton Friedmans and your Ayn Rands, and they just...
and your Noam Chomsky's.
No, that's the complete other side of it.
All the way on the other end.
All the way on the other end, yeah. Those are people who really, Ayn Rand and Milton Friedman and others, who really found a niche for themselves, which is making rich people feel okay with themselves. Most human beings can't be evil. Only sociopaths can be evil or be liars or whatever and not feel about it. So human beings have to rationalize.
True.
And so we have this whole industry that we call, at this point in the universities and everything's the economic profession, and what they really do is they work backwards. They go, this is the result we want, so this is all the blah, blah, blah that, all the formulas that says, even though it never actually works when it's applied. Mm. But what they do is provide rationalizations for people, for rich people, to be able to be okay with the fact that they're sucking the wealth of the world into their pockets while they sit on beaches or whatever the fuck. So that's kind of how I feel about it.
Roger? Counterpoint?
I agree.
I hope so. It'll get weird in here. I'm always right.
I want it to get weird. As a fellow accidental playground enthusiast, do you prefer wood chips, hollowed out craters under the swings, or those rubber shavings?
I like the rubber things.
The rubber shavings that we all hope don't cause prostate cancer.
Once again,
is that polyurethane?
As long as they catch it early and, just whack it off, and then I can get a hobby. I can learn how to make boats in a bottle or stamps. Maybe I'll think clear or something. Yeah.
You like the rubber thing?
I like the rubber things. They're soft. I got back problems, and you know what? So it's like anything that provides cushioning. I'm a sucker.
Do you get onto the playground?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. But most of the slides are. It looks pretty silly when I wedge myself into them.
They're not built for us.
No.
I don't think they were designed for us.
No.
I was looking at the warning today at Clarencetown Park. It was like a 5-page disclaimer on one of the poles. It said, children will die and have choked and horrible things have happened. It was very uplifting while my son was cavorting around in the park.
Can we tie this back to capitalism somewhere?
Let's bring it all back to capitalism.
Bad things to say about it.
Here's another sentence completer. Humanity as a species will fail because of...
Well, right now, capitalism.
See, we
there it is
together.
Woo! Yeah, man. Capitalism has no long-term it doesn't allow for long-term strategies, right? Mm-hmm. Capitalism, look, all the other isms, even communism, fascism, any other, no matter how poorly executed or how wrong-headed they were, they had a moral component. There was in the theology, or the whatever you want to call it, in the fundamental idea, there was a motion, like a idea of some kind of social, organization or social component to how capitalism is just a formula for creating money.
You broke the free market down quite well on your
I think about it a lot, yeah. It's dominating. I mean, that's what the world is now. In my opinion, from everything I see, capitalism, rather than create wealth, it mostly just reallocates it upward.
Would you like to reroute your career 5 years down the road and give TED Talks?
No, because I would heckle myself. You know what I mean? Like I think about these things and I can form opinions or whatever, but at the end of the day, I don't think anybody should listen to me any more than anybody else. Like if someone said, "Why should I listen to you?" I should say, "Don't." You know what I mean? That's why American propaganda is so amazing, is because we don't think we're propagandized.
I'm glad you brought up propaganda. Your upcoming podcast deals with propaganda. What better weapon is there against a perceived enemy?
Well, nuclear weapons are pretty good.
Did not expect such a quick response.
Yeah, those work.
You're covering Reverend Jim Jones from Jonestown fame. Where did the comedic possibilities end?
Oh, there's none. There's none. That is a horrible story. And have you ever heard the death tape? There's that tape.
No.
Oh, yeah, you can just hear it. I mean, it
freaks me out hearing you even say that.
Dude, it's just him talking to them into poisoning themselves. And you hear people like they're doing the Kool-Aid while he's talking, and he's just rambling on, and he's all drugged out and whatever. And then you hear the babies dying, and then you hear the older children and the women crying because the babies are dying, and then they start dying, and everyone's screaming. And I got about 25 minutes, and I couldn't get through it, but it's research, you know. It's not funny at all, so it's a challenge.
You have to make it fun.
Yeah, man, we'll get there.
That sounds awful.
Well, I was thinking about that today. Would he be classified as a mass murderer in like the Charles Manson sense, and that he ordered people to kill themselves? Do you think?
Oh yeah, well yeah, he spent his life installing a mechanism in people's brains that would allow him to kill them when he felt like it. Do you know what I mean?
A trapdoor.
Like it was a long, arduous. He was obsessed with that idea. He used to run drills and like
doomsday drills.
Yeah, where he would get people, he would tell them, okay, now's the time, and he would find out who would really do it, and then he would go, okay, it wasn't really poisoned this time. But
what do you think his end game was? Just to sleep with everybody's kids?
I think, there's a lot of things in there, but, megalomania, you kind of start developing your own hype to make yourself as something, and then you start believing it. And then it just goes, and then the people that you've kind of convinced of your thing then reinforce your feelings about yourself, and it goes around and around and around, and then, you don't have a grasp on reality because you've been put on a pedestal. I mean, I imagine it's the same thing for people like Michael Jackson or whatever.
You were saying the same thing about Chris Gulo earlier too, right?
I barely see him. He's a nice guy. You're not going to get me on that one.
He's great. This one is for Roger.
Yeah, that's a guy who books shows. Let's talk about my career for a minute.
The career.
There it is.
You can see Jesse tonight at Milky's on Elmwood.
I'm going to yell about God knows nothing. I have no idea.
Roger?
Yes, sir.
Do you advocate chokeout sex provided that there's a safe word? And do you agree that spitters are quitters? I'd never even heard of that phrase until 2 days ago. Everybody seems to know that one. Spitters are quitters?
I think if a girl spits, do they do it right in your face, or they kind of like just go off to the side, like, because I don't know, I would, like I said, man, I date manic depressives all my life. They all swallow. They're fun, man. You know what I mean? I never met a girl that was like weird, like in a relationship with a girl who was like weird about giving head or something like that. I would be so bored. You know what I mean?
That's my entire 5-year marriage.
Is there? Yeah.
Roger, your relationship right now?
It's really good. My relationship's really good. Girlfriend for, I don't know, 4 months.
Oh,
She'd probably
man.
kill me if she
you guys
sees
like
this and she's
they
like,
like each other
"It's
and
been
shit.
6
How you like
car
that? Dude?
face.
You
Yep.
still think that like good things about each other. You
it's good.
don't know about all your gross shit.
There's no inner monologue of I fucking hate you.
Yeah, you haven't started wearing them down with your own fucking emotional needs. And your shoulders are all up high and shit. I'm happy for you, man.
There was another question for Roger here. Where the hell did it go?
I
It's
did
lost.
I did the old 4-year relationship that sank, and I've been there.
Yeah, man.
Didn't like it.
Yeah.
Didn't like it.
Yeah.
Is that in your TED Talk?
Yeah.
I don't even know who the fuck Ted is.
Yeah.
Is it?
How did that even start?
I
Does
don't-
anyone know?
No, it was just on Netflix one day. I think that's how you just end up on Netflix and then everybody talks about you.
Haven't watched
There
one.
it is. I got to do that.
This one we missed for Roger. In the past year, you've had 48 girlfriends, whereas I've had 1/2. Do you have any
Which half?
bad half? Not the top half of the mannequin. Do you have an any port in the storm policy for your meat sausage?
Say the question again. I'm sorry.
Do you have an any port in the storm policy for your meat sausage?
There's no policy. He's the thinker for this. For me, I mean,
Yeah, unfortunately, that's all of our story.
he gets what he wants.
Yeah.
So if there were a recipe for your stand-up, it would be 1 part dick jokes and 2 parts mass murder?
Mass murder. No, then if you kill people, they don't suffer. I don't want them to hang around. So I don't know. So it's some kind of torture device of some kind. Yeah, I like the idea of making people laugh about shit that they didn't think they would laugh about. That's neat to me. And it's fun to write that way. It's fun to go, I can write the most horrible thing that I can think of, like the most offensive thing I can think of, make a joke out of it, and then sell it with my bullshit. You know what I mean? Like I don't with this.
You can wrap it.
and I can somehow get people on my side. Yeah, there's a lot of bravado they don't like to admit to, but there's those moments where you know what I mean, where you it feels good.
Is it a delicate balance between an inferiority complex and a superiority complex?
I don't have a superiority complex. I definitely don't, because I don't think I'm better than anyone. Like even my social philosophy, I'm never you're dumb. We're dumb. You know what I mean? That's important to me, and I think that's part of why I can sell the shit that I can sell. Is he vacuuming?
That's Vitamix. This episode brought to you by Vitamix.
Yeah, I use it all the time. Very healthy. Fuck, what was I talking about?
Wrapping it, inferiority complex.
Oh,
We're
yeah,
all dumb.
I definitely have that. I have a lot of like self-loathing situations. But yeah, I'm not a superiority guy. Like, I really, my whole thing is like I said, I think that's why I can sell some of the bullshit I can sell, because I'm never, we fucked up. We're all in this together, and we're all doing dumb shit, and I'm just as guilty of the shit that I rail against. Propaganda gets to me just like it gets to everyone else, maybe not at the most base level just because I pay attention.
You just can't expose yourself to it.
But it's there. It's everywhere. It's everywhere you look. It's soaked into everything. We built our society around it. You can't, everyone's susceptible. So I don't come from like, I'm smart and you're dumb. I'm like, we
fucked up.
Yeah. So
How are we going to make it right?
Yeah. So I don't think superiority complex is my thing, but there's of course there's ego in it. Of course I want to be good. I want to be considered on any given night. I want to be the guy. I want to be the best guy. You know what I mean?
When you take the money and run out of Buffalo, where do you see yourself going?
I want to do the road. I'd like to just live here and do the road.
Home base?
Yeah, I want to travel. I want to do the road, but I have had no compunction to think about leaving here. I like it here. It's good for my family. We're in a good spot.
Have you charted your career? Is there a vision board somewhere at home?
I absolutely, and that's what we were talking about earlier. Like I don't seem to have the facilities to think about it. Do you know what I mean? Like, because I don't know. I don't understand myself in this way, but I can be really smart about some things and completely retarded about other things, where I just don't get it. Like, I don't understand the thought process. When I'm thinking about comedy, it's always getting better. It's always a better joke. It's always a better this or that. But it's always on the thing. Like,
of the moment.
yeah, the doing the thing. So I guess I'm a guy who needs a manager. You know what I mean? I guess I need somebody who knows how to think about that. And
You
I
need
can
a Colonel
say,
Tom Parker.
well,
No?
he had. I'll say this: he had exemplary drug hookups, and I'm okay
There's
with
that.
that. I could be okay with that. That guy. Did you ever see the one concert where he's actually out of his mind on drugs, and they're close up on his face, and he forgets the words to the song, and he actually does this. He does, and it's a close-up of his face. Look it up when he's.
Was that the Vegas years or after?
Yeah,
the
it was.
Vegas
He
years?
was fat and sweaty and not doing good, and yeah, he literally. I mean, I'm not exaggerating. He does it worse, and he does it for like 40 seconds or something. He forgot the words, and he goes, and I'm like, that's a fucking Saturday night.
It was a great career for Michael Jackson to model after.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did pretty good. That guy went to sleep by getting anesthetized every night. Dude, that's a guy. That's a player, man. Even Motley Crue needs to.
So
give
that's
love.
a personal goal.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anesthesia.
I've done drugs in on just crazy amounts, but I don't have time for that. I don't have. I have to be very selective.
Where do you see yourself fitting into Trump's America?
I'm white, so that's a start. I'm poor, so I've always been of the working poor, so not great. I also give a fuck about what happens to people of color, so I'm not happy with that. I think he won't be particularly interested in it. I think we pay more attention to who's around him, who happens to get their foot in the door, because I just think he's just in it for the. He doesn't have policies or things he wants to enact. He just
Megalomania.
Yeah, it's complete and total. I think he's already checked out. Like, I think he's already like, okay, I did this already. Do you know what I mean? But of course, he'd like to be king. He wants to be king of the world. He wants to be king.
Horrifying.
Yeah, it won't be great. I mean, Hillary's more of the same, but it's like, do you take the slow train off the cliff and give yourself maybe more time to at least try to, or you just. The Republicans at this point have just gone completely off the spectrum of reasonable thought.
Roger over here is a steadfast Nader supporter, Ralph Nader.
Yeah, well...
He's going to make it. He's going all the way this year.
Yeah, Bernie had the right idea, because you have to co-opt the structure, the infrastructure of the Democratic Party. And that's why I didn't vote for Nader, and that's why Nader had no hope, because he had no infrastructure. If Nader, on some freak level, got elected, where's his structure? How's he going to get anything done? Who you know what I mean? Like, the structure is built around these two political parties, so you got to take one of them. You know what I mean? You need the tentacles into how everything works and move it to the left, and that's why Bernie had the right idea. He was just an actual social democrat, which we haven't. Clinton moved the whole. Bill Clinton moved the whole party to the right. Bill Clinton's a moderate Republican, always was. Business Republican.
Do you see everybody teeing off during election season at the open mics?
Teeing off?
Do they get into politics much? Not at all?
Some people do. I try to walk a balance. A lot of people will mention it in passing. I think some people. I think people have a general kind of shutdown valve about when they. You have to be. You have to watch how you attack those things. You have to have something to say and have to have a different angle, because if you're just kind of. People tune out real quick. You know what I mean?
What do you think the crowds want to hear in Buffalo? College circuit. It's usually
dirty shit.
Dirty shit. They want the dirty jokes.
Which that's part. Like I said, I don't want to be any one thing, but I don't mind talking about. I have a joke that's just about my asshole, and I have a joke that's about George Orwell. So whatever the fuck I want to talk about.
Have you had a good set at Nietzsche's yet? Have you had a solid
kill
set?
at Nietzsche's now.
You've mastered.
Fucking kill at Nietzsche's. Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's an eclectic crowd.
And I'm gonna get shit for just saying that on here, but I got that room dialed in, man. I've had some amazing set. I just did the Tits and Giggles over there
last week.
I wish that was the tape you had. Oh, I was on it.
Do not miss the bonus, folks. Big Words 29, Big Words video 29.1, and by the end of the week, 29.2. Filmed and edited by Mr. Roger Pleasant right here.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Was fun.
Shit, we got 25 seconds. Roger.
Oh, my God. That's quick, huh?
Yeah, Roger, you got a show this Friday at the Waiting Room?
Ooh.
Yes, I do.
You want to plug
sick.
it?
Yeah. My band, The Second String, will be this Friday. I think we'll go on 6:30, I hope.
Oh, no,
Sell it. Sell it.
Do it.
It's going to be fun.
6:30. He says it's going to be fun.
Jesse,
Believe it.
thank you.